we will be able to use this for future presentations. So thank you for joining us at the American River College Info session. I'm Dr. Joshua Moon Johnson. I serve as one of the Dean of Student Services, and I have the pleasure of working with many of our incoming students to ARC. So thank you all for joining us today. We have just a handful of folks here to talk about their experiences at ARC and share some information to help you make your choices around college. Just wanted to let you know everyone is muted. There is a chat box. You will see it at the bottom of your screen with a little dialog box and a chat. We ask that you use that to ask questions throughout the presentation. We do have some time at the end of our time to answer questions, but also we have a few of our staff members who will be able to chat with you and answer questions as we get going. With that, I want to make some introductions. We are joined with one of our student leaders, Kevin Hill, who serves as the president of CABE, or Campus Events and Activities Board, who holds lots of great opportunities for students to get involved on campus. So excited that he will be joining us and sharing a little bit about ARC from his perspective. We also have two folks from our outreach team, Cesar Reyes and Juana, who are going to be chatting with you. And you'll also have the opportunity to make appointments with Juana and with another outreach specialist, Jerry, at the end of the time if you want a personal appointment to fill out an application. So with that, we will go ahead and jump in and tell you a little bit about American River College. One of the things that we want to share about is just kind of the brief overview. For me, I've been working as an administrator at ARC for about 2.5 years now, and it's been one of the most exciting parts of my careers. I've worked in four-year institutions, large publics, small privates, and now at a community college as well. So I have a great understanding of the different types of institutions of higher education, and hopefully I can tell you a bit about ARC to make sure it's the right fit for you. So today we're going to talk about the high quality academics, talk about job opportunities and transfer opportunities depending on what your goals are. Some things are on the cost and affordability, convenience, as well as some of the well-rounded aspects of education that you can get at American River College. So to get us started, so of course, we're talking about college, we're talking about goals and careers. So academics is a huge part of why you would want to come to ARC. Excited that we are one of the 4 colleges in the Los Rios Community College District here in Sacramento. And the classes that you take at ARC, you can take them at any of the 4 colleges or online, and they all share similar academic curriculum and programs. However, even if you were to go to other campuses, you do have a host institution, and ARC might be the best fit for you depending on your goals and your interests. We do have over 100 degrees and certificate programs. So a certificate program is typically a little bit shorter than an associate's degree, and you would take those, and oftentimes you might go straight into a career if you do a certificate. Sometimes certificate programs can be very specific to a career or a technical path. And associate's degrees can be as well. And many times folks who are doing our associate's degree programs, their goal is to transfer to a 4-year institution. You can check out our website and explore a lot of the different academic majors, certificates, and transfer opportunities there. But to highlight a few that are often very popular, we have a nursing program. So you can do an associate's degree in nursing and become a registered nurse, which has great career mobility. And you get lots of hands-on experience within there as well. Other students do programs like pre-law, and then they would transfer to a bachelor's program with the goal of going to a law school after their bachelor's program. EMT, emergency medical, responders, culinary arts. We have a great state-of-the-art facility where people are cooking, becoming chefs, working in hospitality as they move out into the Sacramento area, working in many fine dining establishments, hotels, starting their own restaurants, cafes as well. One super cool thing about that is we do have a fully functioning high-end restaurant that is run by our students. The food is delicious. It's definitely a treat to get to go to and see students doing real-world work as they prep for their careers. We also have a thing called the Oak Cafe. It's a cafe that has delicious baked goods as well as sandwiches, salads, mac and cheese, that there's always a line there because people are eager to get that food that is made by our students. We also have a robust theater department, animation, music, many awesome things that people are able to do to move right into careers. A fully modernized theater and music facility. Our theater productions are top notch, and so whether you're going to ARC or not, our community members are very welcome to come and attend our theater productions as well as our concerts. The Jazz Ensemble is one of the very popular concerts that happen each year. With that, I would love to turn it over to Kevin and hear a little bit about what his academic goals and focuses at ARC.
All right, can everyone hear me okay? Yes? Cool. Hi guys, I'm Kevin again, the CABE president at ARC. So this will be my 3rd year at ARC and I'm transferring this year. I am double majoring in language studies and political science. ARC, when it comes to choosing what major I wanted to have, ARC had a nice variety of classes for each major. So depending on what college you go to, each major has its own requirements for classes. And ARC has, in my opinion, the best selection of elective classes where we really go into our core values about learning about diversity on our campus, learning about diversity in our community, which is something that's really important to me. So it definitely helped me pursue my future goals. As of right now, I plan on going into education. And I believe that the way ARC functions is a very good community-based school. And we do have a nice childhood education program at our school as well. That gives you nice in-depth education on how to become a teacher, which is something I appreciate a lot. So as far as my academics, or the academics go at ARC, that's just my feel about it. I enjoy it very much. I came from another college and came to ARC, and I've been at ARC for 2 years now. So kind of shows how strong the academics are if I've stayed for 2 years.
Kevin, would you mind telling us a little bit more about your academic area of study and maybe what's been your favorite class since you've been at ARC?
Yes. So my official major is language studies. So it's a very broad major. You pretty much just go over a survey of languages to transfer to a 4-year with more specified languages. And I'm also doing political science, focusing more on California policy. So learning about California law, California criminal aspects of the law. And then when it comes to my favorite class, it would be theater arts 306. And it's a multicultural view into, the class is called multicultural studies into drama and I believe drama and theater. And it's a class essentially where it's a theater class with one of the directors of the theater department who's amazing. Professor, I can't remember his last name now. He goes by his first name, Sam, and he's an amazing, enthusiastic professor. He really makes the students engage with the material, and it became an overall like fun class because usually I'm not a fan of reading, but he made reading interesting for me, and he brought it all around full circle to where I actually started to enjoy reading more, and so that had to be my favorite class, and it helped me grow the most at ARC.
Cool, thank you. And so whether you're like Kevin who enters college exactly knowing what you're doing or you don't know what you're doing, it's a great time to explore. I think that's one of the awesome parts about being at ARC or community colleges. We have many different majors. And even if you don't feel like you have it 100% figured out yet, it's a great place to explore different academic interests and career interests. And that's what we're here for. We have many different student support services and faculty members who go out of their way to kind of tell you about it, to get to know you and to help you pick a path that makes sense for your goals in your career in the future too. So we're always happy to explore those parts with our students. Another thing that's always really important, of course, is when you come to ARC, we know that you're not going to be there forever. We want you to leave us at some point and leave us in a good way. We want you to get a great job. So if you know that your goal is to go to community college after those couple years being at ARC, you want to move right into the workforce, that's definitely an option for many students. We have a fully robust career services office that helps people do things like fill out their resumes, practice for interviewing, and find jobs and apply to them. We have different career fairs each semester where many local employers will come and recruit you for great jobs that pay a living wage and more. Some of the employers who typically come to our campus to recruit, the state of California, so if you're interested in working in a state job, SMUD, FedEx, California State Parks, and also Sacramento County, as well as many, many more come for you to get opportunities to apply and interview and get jobs with right after your community college experience. Another large portion of our students are coming to ARC with the hopes of transferring to a four-year university. That's a huge part of what we do at ARC. Just a few things. We have robust transfer agreements. So we have the highest transfer rate of sending students to Cal State Sacramento, 86%, and UC Davis, and that's 63%. It's a wonderful place to go to if you know you would like to maybe have a little bit more time to explore, if you need to really bump up your grades and your community college experience to make sure you can apply to a UC. So doing 2 to 3 years at ARC and then going to a UC is very common for our students. There's a couple of different agreements we have as a California community college with the UC system and the Cal State system. So one of them is IGETC, that's the Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum. And this is where you would take your lower division general education requirements and then you would be able to transfer to a CSU or a UC, and you won't have to retake those classes. And we make sure that those classes will all transfer to the school that you're going to as well. There are specific GPA requirements for some of these transfer agreements, and all of that is pretty well detailed on our transfer website. TAG is another one. This is where you're offered guaranteed admission to over 30 four-year institutions that you would have to take specific classes, maintain a GPA, usually it's around 3.0 or higher, to make sure that you're getting into those specific schools. Some of the visuals you'll see right now is showing the transfer rates of folks who going to ARC and where they typically transfer to. As you can see, many different UCs, UC Berkeley, UCLA, UCI, UC Davis is definitely one of the highest places, but then also a lot of Cal States as well. Beyond Cal States and UCs, we do have many different four-year universities that are private that do come and recruit. I've had a good handful of students who transferred to HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities, as well as a number of students who transferred to Ivy League institutions too. I know Columbia University is very regularly coming to our transfer fair. Beyond that, we have an office that is just for helping you transfer. So sometimes students think it's too early when they get there their freshman year, their first year, to start thinking about where to transfer to. It's definitely something we want you to think about even on your first day of school at ARC. Pop into that transfer center office or the career services office to start learning a little bit more about what your step is after that. 2 to 3 years flies by, and it's always good to kind of have an idea of what your goal is as you're moving forward. So Kevin works in the office right outside of my office, so I get to talk to Kevin pretty regularly about his experience this year as he's planning on transferring. And I've asked him to tell you a little bit about what his experience is as he is about to transfer.
Yes, thank you for that. So transferring, of course, is my goal for going to ARC. The transfer center has been an amazing help. I wish I saw them sooner. I recommend definitely going as soon as you get there. The people are very personable, nice to get along with, and they have really good insight. And when I came into ARC, I was not a language studies major. I was a criminal justice major. And through them, I realized that that's really what my passion was. And they helped me discover my passion, how to move on through transferring with my passion. And the transfer process, if you go about it by yourself, it's not easy. And so they're there to help you along the way. And they made the process for me 10 times easier. And they also have really good connections. And they have connections to different schools that can help you format your application and whatnot into getting into the school that have the high chance of getting into your school of your choice. So right now is decision time for me for college. And thanks to the effort that the transfer center put into helping me, I've been accepted into 10 schools so far for next fall semester. And yeah, so I just want to appreciate the fact that the center helps a lot with students. And they'll work tirelessly with you hours on end. I have emails that are like 200 emails long about like, I need help with this. And they're willing to help you. So make sure you use them would be my advice right there.
just want to pause and congratulate Kevin on all of his hard work and already his accomplishments. So super excited to see where he transfers to this fall, and it's awesome that he has a nice selection to pick from. So congrats again, Kevin.
Thank you, thank you.
So another huge perk of going to ARC is the cost and affordability. I'm sure many of you have heard of the Los Rios Promise program. So if you are a new college student and you go full-time, which is 12 units, which is typically about 4 classes, it is free. Your tuition is free for 2 years. And this is something that is amazing. So if you are going to a 4-year university after this, you can leave ARC paying almost nothing and save any time of loans you might have to take out for your 4-year university. So this is for first-time and full-time students. And so you can look at our website at the Los Rios Promise program and figure out the specifics to do that, but awesome opportunity for folks from any income bracket to be able to come to ARC for their first 2 years for free. If you were choosing to go part-time, many of our part-time students do also have financial aid benefits that let them go at a very low or reduced cost. But if you were to pay just straight out of pocket, it's $46 per unit. And most classes are about 3 units. With that, of course, there are some other fees that students are responsible for, as well as textbooks, but the tuition costs are pretty low or free for many and most of our students. So as you start to evaluate ARC versus a 4-year Cal State or a 4-year UC or private schools, ARC is most likely going to be the most affordable college option that you're going to have out there as well. In addition to having free tuition, we have many scholarships that students can apply to. So many opportunities, and these come from federal scholarships, state scholarships, as well as private scholarships where people donate money to support students to pay for above and extra things. So paying for helping you transfer out of the institution, or for living costs or books costs as well. With that, there's federal and state assistance. So FAFSA is your federal student aid, as well as there's the Cal grants, as well as the California DREAM Act application for AB 540 undocumented and DACA students as well. We have many students who also work on campus. Just in my area, I have almost 100 student workers. And so a huge perk is going to college there, but also working on campus. Sometimes students think that working while being in college can make their academics suffer. But there's been quite a bit of research that show that students who work about 15 to 20 hours a week on campus actually do better academically than those students who don't work. I highly encourage folks when they get to ARC to find a campus job. You build community, you build support, and of course, you make a little bit of extra money too. So that's something that we always encourage students to do, is to get jobs on campus. Another perk that we want to talk about is making sure that it's convenient. There are many different reasons that people might choose a community college or ARC over other types of institutions. One is staying local. For a variety of reasons, people might need to be in the Sacramento community. They might be able to be a part of their family system, their support system, and that is huge. College in itself is going to be pretty difficult all around transitioning. Making sure you have that support system and that routine makes it really helpful. Especially if you have an adequate living space that you get to stay in and you're not having to pay for additional living costs while you're at ARC. That's a huge part of it too. We definitely encourage folks to go full-time, especially if people are wanting to do 2 years at ARC and then 2 years at a 4-year university. You do need to be full-time, but sometimes that's not an option for everybody. If you're already working full-time, if you are caring for family members, part-time might be the best way to start out as well. And knowing that ARC, many of our students are part-time, and that's very doable if you're managing other obligations such as full-time work, or you just want to test it out and start out a little slowly as well. If you know you want to stay in the Sacramento area and work within our local community in our region, there's many career opportunities that are connected by ARC as well. So we are a huge part of the Sacramento community and businesses. And so attending ARC will definitely help you stay connected as you find internships and career opportunities and for transferring. there are so many reasons as we think about the convenience of transitioning your life and your academic journey. And so hoping that ARC can meet some of those needs as well. With that, I would love to hear from you, Kevin. What were some of the reasons that helped you decide on attending ARC?
So for me, a big part of it is the convenience of the way the campus is not necessarily structured, but the way it is placed in the city. So I'm a big fan of public transit because go green is my motto. And ARC has a bus stop that connects right to ARC, which is really nice. ARC also has a nice local positioning where there's lots of local eateries and places that you can go and study off at. There's a couple entertainment venues near ARC as well, where if you want to hang out with classmates or whatnot. But a big part of it for me was that going into college, I went into college when I was 18. So it's like kind of the transitional year of you having your kind of going into adulting phase, where you start to try to seek more independence. And the jump from going from being a high schooler to going to a 4-year in another area by myself was a very daunting task. It's something that made me fearful, honestly. And by going to ARC first, it helped me glide into adulthood more, or I was able to grow more as a person before I just up and left. And so that was something that helped me a lot. As well as the community at ARC and it's personalized attention that you get to students, because unlike universities where there's over 200 students in one classroom, we have what you would consider the standard 30 to 40 student class amount, which provides more individualized attention and more ability to get help, also more detailed learning. And so that's how ARC stuck out to me compared to a 4-year school. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
So the last thing that we really want to hit on is just really the well-rounded experience. Of course, you're going to college for the academic part of it as well. But I think something Kevin hit on, you grow as a person as well. And I think that that's the beautiful part about being in a community like American River College. That's a large part of what my job is, of that outside of the classroom experience as well. The inside of the classroom, it's wonderful. We have faculty who really care. They teach at a community college because they want to be face-to-face with our students. However, there's so many wonderful things that happen outside of the classroom that really will shape you as a person, that will support you as you're going through the challenge of getting your college degree. But also it will help you develop leadership skills, interpersonal skills, and really round out those skills that will prepare you to be successful in the workforce and in society. So we always encourage people to get involved on campus, whether that's a student club. We have over 50 student clubs that's getting a job on campus. We employ hundreds of students every year, volunteering, joining religious organizations, joining professional associations around your academic area or career goals. We always want people to connect beyond just going to class and going home. We want you to find community. Going to college is going to be tough at times. And I think the beautiful part of being in the ARC community is people are there to support you. So whether they're study groups with folks in your classroom, or that they are people who you just rely on because you had a tough time on your exam or a tough time at home, or whatever that struggle might be too, is people build real friends and true community there as well. We know that to be successful in today's society, you need more than just an academic credential. We want you to develop team building skills, leadership skills, interpersonal skills as well. And by being involved across campus, by joining clubs, by getting an employment, we make sure that you build those leadership skills so you're the most successful applicant when you start to apply to transfer or you go on job interviews. As I talked about some of the challenges with college, we know that college is going to be challenging, but we got your back. We're there to support you. I listed just a few of the support programs we have on campus. Our disability services, which is called DSPS. We have pretty robust services to support folks with physical disabilities, emotional learning disabilities as well. This is something that we embrace about our students, and we make sure that we can support them no matter what their ability or their learning style is inside or outside of the classroom. We value people's lived experiences, their histories, and their cultures. We have many different programs such as Unite, which is our multicultural student center, Moja Saku, which is focused on Black and African American students, Puente for Latinx, Latino, Latina, Chicanx students, Prize for Asian Pacific Islander students, Pride for LGBTQ plus students, and Undocu Scholar for undocumented DACA and students from mixed status family. These are community support centers, these are resources, these are guidance, just to make sure that no matter what your background is or challenges you might encounter, ARC is there to support you. Some other general academic support services, we have a learning resource center, which you can get free tutoring, free writing support. This is something that makes students very successful. For me, whenever I was in school, I went to tutoring all the time. I brought every paper to the writing center, and it wasn't necessarily because I was a bad student by any means. I just wanted to make sure I was getting an A and not an A- or a B. And that's what a lot of our students can get free access to tutoring right on campus. We also have TRIO and EOP&S. These are both programs that support folks who are maybe the first ones in their families to go to college. You might not have family or parents who can guide you along that path, and these are programs that make sure that we can explain things no matter what your family's educational background is as well. And then Achieve is for all of our first-time new students, and so this is a robust program to make sure your first year starts out successful. And then this is just a few of them. I could talk for hours about all the support programs we have at ARC and ways to get involved. But I would love for Kevin to tell you a little bit about what he does on campus as one of our premier campus leaders.
All right, thank you for that. So my position is a club and events board president. So we have over, as of this morning, we had 62 clubs, I believe, chartered on our campus. And so those are the clubs that cover a variety of different aspects. So we have like a nursing association, we have an animation club, a radio club, we have an investment club. So our clubs span a variety of different topics and themes. But my main mission is to enjoy the college experience, because community college, 2 years sounds like a long time, but it's really not. I can guarantee you 2 years is not as long as it sounds. And part of making the well-rounded experience is making sure that you get your academics done. Also make sure that you have time to de-stress and have self-care and take time to smell the flowers and whatnot. And getting involved on campus is a good way to do that. Not only do you build community on campus, but you also build your own personal skills. For example, myself, I never came to ARC expecting myself to be a president of anything at all. And then through getting involved more and more, like, oh, I actually feel like I can do this. And it helped me boost my self-confidence to the point where now I'm a president of a student government organization and I'm a manager at my job right now. And so it builds your skills up and it takes you places that you would never imagine. Also, I built a second family here. And something that's really important, because you spend arguably more time at school than you do at home on most occasions, depending on what your work life is and school and such. And it's really important for me to build the second family here, because I know that I can go into the the CLND, Student Center for Leadership and Development, and walk in. I have like a whole family that I can just sit there and talk to. They help us through whatever we're going through. And it's really nice to know that no matter where you go, you have someone who's in your corner supporting you. And it really helps you as a student as going through this, because it can be a scary experience, but knowing that there are people there who want to help you, and that you have people there who you can lean on, makes the experience a lot easier to go through. And getting involved is just the beginning of it.
Thank you, Kevin. I know when I worked at four-year universities, this was always the aspect that I was really afraid of, that a community college student wouldn't have the access to these types of support systems, community, and involvement. But I think that the great part about ARC is we are a community college, and we also have very robust opportunities for people to be involved with that as well. And so with that, we will move on to wrapping up. I did see a few hands raised. Just want to encourage folks again to use the chat box to ask questions. We're about to get to our Q&A phase, but as we're talking, Cesar and Juana can both answer your questions in the chat box. As we wrap up, we want you to make sure you can take the next steps. So we are still accepting applications, so students can still apply for summer. This summer, all of our classes will be online. So I know many of us are probably sitting around not sure what we're going to be doing this summer. It might be great to just get started with one class online this summer. And you can go ahead and apply today, and the summer schedule is out. You can still apply for fall as well. So if you want to hold off and start full force in fall, go ahead and apply there as well. The next step you should do very quickly after you apply is make sure you're taking care of your finances. So your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, or the California DREAM Act application for undocumented DACA AB 540 students. Go ahead and fill out those two things too as soon as you finish your application. As I mentioned, the LOSURS Promise covers your tuition for free for 2 years, but you do have to do the FAFSA or California DREAM Act application in order to qualify for that free tuition too. So with that, I will conclude and move us over to questions.